As a heart surgeon, one of the most alarming trends I've seen over the past decade isn't a new disease or a rare condition. It's the growing habit of sitting for long hours, especially among seniors. This seemingly harmless routine has quietly become one of the biggest threats to heart health. Most people don't realize that our bodies were never designed to remain still for prolonged periods. When you sit for hours, your blood flow slows dramatically, your muscles become inactive, and your metabolic rate drops. Over time, this leads to stiffening of the arteries, poor circulation, and an increased risk of developing high blood pressure and elevated cholesterol levels. These are not just numbers on a chart, they are red flags for potential heart attacks and strokes. For seniors, the danger is even greater. As we age, our body's ability to regulate blood sugar and maintain vascular flexibility diminishes. When long sitting is added to this mix, it accelerates the progression of heart disease. What makes this habit especially deceptive is how normal it seems. Watching TV, reading, scrolling on a phone, or even long car rides. These can all add up to 8 to 10 hours of sitting a day without much thought. The problem is not just the lack of exercise, but the absence of movement altogether. Even daily walkers may still fall into this trap if they remain sedentary for the rest of the day. Scientific studies now equate sitting for long stretches with smoking in terms of the damage it does to cardiovascular health. The blood pools in the legs, inflammation rises, and clots can begin to form, especially in those already at risk. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. This one habit, so ingrained in modern life, is silently damaging the hearts of millions, and seniors are bearing the brunt. When you sit for extended periods, especially as a senior, your body undergoes a series of changes that most people never notice until it's too late. One of the first things that happens is a dramatic reduction in blood circulation. The heart isn't pumping as efficiently, especially to the lower extremities, and the blood begins to pool in the legs. This reduced flow can lead to swelling, varicose veins, and more dangerously, blood clots. The lack of movement also means your muscles, especially in the legs and core, start to weaken, and your metabolism slows down, making it harder to regulate blood sugar and fat levels. Another major internal change involves the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. When you're inactive, this lining starts to lose its ability to expand and contract properly. That stiffening is one of the early steps in the development of atherosclerosis, plaque buildup in the arteries, which increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. Inactivity also affects your lungs. Your breathing becomes shallower, reducing the amount of oxygen circulating through your system. This lack of oxygen-rich blood can fatigue the heart over time, making it work harder than it should. Hormonal changes also occur when you're sedentary. Insulin sensitivity drops, which means your body has a harder time processing glucose. This raises the risk of type 2 diabetes, which is itself a major risk factor for heart disease. Inflammation, a silent contributor to almost all chronic illnesses, increases the longer you sit. Chronic inflammation stresses the cardiovascular system, leading to wear and tear on the heart muscle and blood vessels. All these internal changes can occur without any pain or warning signs, which is why this habit is so dangerous. The damage is cumulative and often invisible, until a major cardiac event brings it to light. Seniors are significantly more vulnerable to the effects of prolonged sitting. And it's not just because of age, it's because of how the aging body functions. As we grow older, our metabolism naturally slows down, meaning the body burns fewer calories at rest, and is less efficient at processing fats and sugars. When this slower metabolic rate is combined with long periods of inactivity, it creates a dangerous environment where excess glucose and cholesterol accumulate in the bloodstream, directly increasing the risk of heart disease. The cardiovascular system also changes with age. Blood vessels lose elasticity, the heart muscle weakens slightly, and blood pressure tends to rise. Sitting for long periods only makes these age-related issues worse, as it further impairs circulation and puts additional strain on the heart. Another critical factor is the loss of muscle mass. and flexibility that comes with aging. Sedentary behavior accelerates muscle atrophy, particularly in the legs and core, which are essential for balance, movement, and overall stability. This can lead to decreased mobility, higher risk of falls, and a reduced ability to stay active, creating a vicious cycle of inactivity and health decline. The lymphatic system, which helps remove toxins from the body, also becomes less effective with age and even more sluggish without movement. This can lead to chronic inflammation, which plays a key role in the development of cardiovascular and other chronic diseases. Additionally, seniors often experience reduced sensitivity to early warning signs like fatigue, shortness of breath, or mild chest discomfort. These symptoms are frequently dismissed as normal aging, when in fact, they may be signs of poor circulation or early heart dysfunction caused by prolonged sitting. The compounding effect of these factors makes it clear why seniors face a higher risk, because their bodies are less equipped to recover from the damage caused by a sedentary lifestyle. Many people believe that a daily walk or a 30-minute workout is enough to protect their heart, but the truth is more complex, especially for seniors. Exercise is undeniably important, but it doesn't fully counteract the damage caused by sitting for long stretches of time. In fact, research shows that being sedentary for most of the day, even if you exercise regularly, still increases your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even early death. This is because the human body is designed to move consistently throughout the day, not just in short bursts. When movement is limited to a small window of time, the rest of the day's inactivity still takes a toll on blood vessels, metabolism, and overall cardiovascular function. What's often misunderstood is that prolonged sitting causes physiological changes, independent of overall fitness level. For example, enzymes responsible for breaking down fat in the bloodstream become less active when you sit too long. This means fat builds up in the arteries more easily, leading to higher cholesterol levels and clogged vessels. Additionally, long periods of stillness reduce insulin sensitivity, raising blood sugar levels and putting extra pressure on the heart. For seniors, this becomes even more problematic, because their bodies already face age-related declines in muscle mass, flexibility, and circulation. So while a morning walk or gym session is beneficial, it doesn't erase the risks of sitting for the rest of the day watching TV, reading, or using a computer. What truly protects the heart is frequent, low-intensity movement, standing up regularly, stretching, walking around the house, or doing light chores throughout the day. These simple habits help maintain healthy blood flow, support metabolic function, and reduce strain on the heart. The focus should shift from isolated workouts to a lifestyle built around continuous movement and breaking up long periods of sitting. One of the most empowering truths about heart health is that even small, consistent changes in daily routine can lead to remarkable improvements, especially for seniors. You don't need to run marathons or follow intense workout regimens to protect your heart. In fact, the most meaningful results often come from the simplest actions, repeated over time. Just standing up every 30 minutes, taking short walks around the room, or stretching your legs while watching TV can significantly boost circulation and reduce the health risks associated with prolonged sitting. These movements encourage the muscles to contract, which helps pump blood more effectively throughout the body and keeps your arteries flexible. Incorporating these small habits into your day isn't difficult, but it does require mindfulness. For example, placing a reminder on your phone or using a wearable device to prompt you to stand can make a huge difference. During phone calls, try pacing instead of sitting. While watching your favorite show, use commercial breaks as an opportunity to get up and move around. These subtle shifts in behavior gradually condition your body to stay active, even during activities that would normally be sedentary. The benefits go beyond just the physical. Movement enhances mood, sharpens focus, and boosts energy levels. It also helps regulate blood sugar and pressure, reduces inflammation, and improves sleep, all of which are essential for heart health. What makes these changes powerful is their cumulative effect. A few minutes of movement here and there may seem minor in the moment, but over days, weeks, and months, it builds a foundation of resilience and vitality. For seniors, whose bodies are more sensitive to inactivity, these small actions are not just healthy, they're transformative. They can mean the difference between independence and decline, between chronic illness and thriving well-being. Many seniors experience subtle physical symptoms every day and dismiss them as normal signs of aging. But what often gets overlooked is that these seemingly minor issues can be early warning signs of deeper cardiovascular problems caused by prolonged inactivity. For instance, swelling in the feet or ankles may not just be due to standing too long. It could be a sign of poor circulation or even congestive heart failure. Shortness of breath after light activity, like walking upstairs or carrying groceries, is another red flag. It's not always about being out of shape. It can be the heart struggling to pump blood efficiently due to weakened muscles or narrowed arteries. Fatigue is one of the most common and underestimated warning signs. When the heart isn't functioning well, the body doesn't get enough oxygen-rich blood, leading to persistent tiredness even after adequate rest. Seniors often chalk this up to aging, but it's a message from the body that something's not right. Chest discomfort, pressure, or tightness may not present as dramatic pain in older adults. Heart-related symptoms can be more subtle. Sometimes it's just a dull ache or heaviness that comes and goes, particularly during periods of inactivity or immediately afterward. Another often overlooked sign is frequent lightheadedness or dizziness when standing up. This could indicate poor blood flow or changes in blood pressure, especially if it happens regularly. These symptoms may seem harmless on their own, but together they paint a picture of a cardiovascular system under stress. Seniors might ignore them, not wanting to worry loved ones or assuming it's part of getting old, but ignoring these signals can delay diagnosis and treatment, allowing preventable heart conditions to worsen silently. Paying attention to the body's quiet cues is the first step in avoiding a serious cardiac event. As a heart surgeon, I've seen more than my fair share of tragedy, lives changed or lost due to heart conditions that in many cases were completely preventable. What pains me the most is when seniors, who could have lived many more vibrant years, suffer because of something as simple and overlooked as prolonged sitting. It's not dramatic. It doesn't make headlines, but it's silently wrecking lives. I've operated on patients who had no idea they were at risk until it was too late, until they collapsed, had a heart attack, or suffered a stroke. And when I trace back the chain of events, so often it begins with one overlooked habit: sitting for hours on end, every single day. I'm not asking for extreme changes. I'm not telling anyone to run miles or spend hours in the gym. My plea is simple: break up the stillness. Stand more. Move often. Don't let the hours slip by while your body quietly weakens. Every time you sit for too long, your heart is working harder behind the scenes, fighting against sluggish circulation, rising inflammation, and the dangerous buildup of plaque in your arteries. What I want people, especially seniors, to understand is that your heart is resilient, but it needs your help. It thrives on motion. It's designed for activity, not for the sedentary lives so many of us have fallen into. I've seen firsthand the difference in outcomes between those who maintain movement throughout the day and those who don't. And I say this with urgency, because I've also had to deliver the hardest news to families who lost loved ones too soon. The power to prevent that is often in your daily routine, in the seemingly small choices you make hour by hour.